Hi everyone, my name is Jose de Tezanos. I am going to talk about BIM Mindset, the mindset that is needed to work with BIM, to change our minds about how we develop our projects and how we should introduce the information in the models and how to share it, how to communicate it, and how this is needed to, to adopt BIM in a useful and in a quicker way. I'm Jose de Tezanos from Uruguay, South America, architect, master in BIM management, CEO in MDT Arquitectura, and have more than 10 years developing executive projects in 2D and also with BIM. I'm also member of BIM Forum Uruguay, where we are compromised to accelerate and promote the adoption of BIM in our country, including through investigation, through capacitation, and through diffusion. And also, I have BIM Online, a digital platform where we share our knowledge and we train professionals in BIM. About MDT Arquitectura, well, we work for more than 12 countries giving advice in BIM and developing projects. We collaborate with professionals and stakeholders to develop their projects, achieving profitable projects and helping them in BIM consulting to achieve a successful BIM implementation. We have worked with more than 7,000 professionals that we have trained in BIM with BIM Online. And this is how I worked before BIM, in 2D with CAD, where clash detection was difficult, where coordination took more time than we desired. So working with BIM was really an before and after in my career. Not only working with a 3D model, but also with information in the model. And this is what we are going to talk about, what is different and what is challenging about BIM and how this affects BIM adoption in all our countries. I will not talk about what is BIM because most of you probably know what BIM is, but what we understand in MDT Arquitectura that BIM is and how BIM allows different project teams to speak a common digital language. And this is challenging. This is what we have to understand, what we need to understand to collaborate, to share information, to work successfully with BIM. To manage the information added in the model and to create a reliable databases and take better decisions for our projects. Because information is everywhere. Even if you don't see it or you don't understand the information, it is still here. Atoms, cells, without exchange of information, nothing comes into being. So exchange means communication. And this is what we have to work with. So we understand that BIM is a fusion between people, between processes, and between technology. People trained with developed skills to understand that we need ordered process, standardized process to achieve specific needs and specific required, and how we have to identify which technology is needed for each process. And BIM Council Roadmap talks about 4 pillars in BIM adoption: leadership, education, standards, and procurement. And we also think this is about people and this is about process. And this is what we are talking about: a new culture, a new BIM mindset, and a new way of thinking our projects. And why do we need to understand this. Why do we need to work different in our projects? Well, probably most of you know this chart where it shows that construction industry has decreased the productivity in the last years. Any improvement of 1% in productivity means savings from $100,000 annually. While other industries work like this, with technology, with manufacture, we are still working like this, at least in South America. So a change is needed. And in 2018, there was a poll in Argentina to identify the main causes of lack in productivity. And the principal answers were lack in the coordination of the activities and delay of the work. And this is what we need to change, processes. So the real power comes when people embrace the digitalization idea. It's not only about changing from analog to digital. It's about information. It's about managing information. And ISO standards talks about information containers. Stop working in a partial way with partial methods, disorder to talk about an ordered process, a standardized process with one model that contains all the information for all the actors in the project. So let's talk about BIM in Uruguay. In 2018, Uruguay achieved a level of adoption of 34%. The principal countries that are leading the adoption of BIM in South America are Chile, Argentina, and Peru. Most of the countries decided to create a regulation framework based on the ISO standard. Some of these countries that I mentioned decided to create a specific program to develop skills in professionals, promote a vision of BIM adoption, and create a collaborative framework. There is a lack of law regulations as a motivation to adopt BIM, and this is necessary. There's an interest for developing first BIM projects in public sectors. And something really important is that in South America, construction represents between the 7 and the 10% of the gross industry product of each country. There was a network, BIMGO Latam, created with public actors to share experiences in BIM adoption in South America. In Uruguay, there's a national BIM committee created. There are no law regulations about BIM, but there's a BIM implementation plan that has been created up to 2025. This includes promotion of standards, first projects, creating a BIM communication plan, and promote training professionals in BIM skills. Chile is the most advanced country in BIM implementation. There's a Plan BIM Committee of Digital Transformation that is coordinating different actors in the construction industry to achieve a good quality adoption of BIM. Argentina has a plan implementation that is called CBIM and was created up to 2025. Although there's no regulation about BIM, there's a driving axis including the development of better communications, collaboration, training, and diffusion of BIM in the industry. Colombia has been adopted first public projects as, for example, Bogota Airport and Bogota Metro. There are no law regulations in BIM, but there's a great demand of professionals with BIM skills. And this is really a problem. So, why BIM adoption has been so slow? The main reasons are not having a driving reason, law regulations, or clients' requirements, because experiences with BIM have been wasteful and ambiguous, and not knowing the financial gain in the business of working with standardized processes. So we have to stop building with inefficient and wasteful procedures and start working with standardized and ordered processes. There's a opportunity and a chance to change and to make things different. But for that, we need to develop new skills, skills to improve collaboration, skills to improve productivity, to ensure the quality of the deliverables, to mitigate risks, and to promote efficient projects. So it is necessary to create strategies to manage the information in the model, to communicate the information in the model, and to share it. We still work like this. Our clients require models with 2D plans, while we try to show them that this option, that working with a 3D model, gives much more information about the project than 2D. So we share them a process to work with a 3D model, even if they don't know anything about it. So why to change? Why to use a digital process for exchanging and producing information? Why to follow an industry standard over my own and not standardized processes? It is always easy to do nothing than to do something, and this is what our clients think. So we need to promote a different mindset. This is a social part. A driving reason is the social part that recognizes the benefits of having agreements for more quality, more performance, and more outcome, and responsibilities that secure a better environment. So this is not about technical challenges. This is about social challenges. Also, this is not about any software. This is about changing the mindset, achieving a collective mindset that will bring overall benefits to our society and to our economy. And why? Because if we see BIM in numbers, we can see that BIM increases the productivity over 15%, reduces the deliverable project times over 50%, and reduces the life cost of the assets over 33%. So now that our clients know why they need to work with BIM, they will require only a BIM model. And we need to know that it is not enough that they require a BIM model. They need to require information. They need to require why they need to work with BIM. And we have to produce this information in the model, what they require, how they require it, how this information will be shared, what information should be shared, how to communicate it, and how to analyze this information. We are about a comprehensive and digitalized project development. We are not talking about a 3D model, a clash detection. We are not talking about 2D plans or budgets. We are talking about processes, collaboration, guidelines, and communication. And this is what we understand in MDT Arquitectura, that we really need to work efficiently with BIM. And to achieve this, we understand that education is the only solution possible, delivering a broad awareness and upskilling learning framework. Digital transformation is a continuous journey in the progress. So How do we prepare professionals for this transformation? We always make this question. So we have a program, a trainee program for professionals, where we show them what we know, our experience, and our processes. And once they have upgraded, we select the best professionals to work with us in our team. We must adopt a mindset of continuous learning, knowledge, and sharing information. Knowledge is understanding, but is awareness of facts and skills also. So why do we need BIM? And let me show you some examples of why do we need BIM and why we understand in MDT Arquitectura that we need BIM. This is an example of a project we developed for England. Our client was a site survey and engineer office that required us for Reebok, basing on a point cloud. They required us the BIM model. So we developed the structure so they could optimize the design and achieve different solutions for this project. Or this building, residence building for Peru, where architects decided which was the best option of design basing on the budget, so they could optimize the design. Or these offices for so how can we collaborate with your project? Please scan the QR code and schedule a meeting with us where we can tell you how we can collaborate with your project. Finally, if other industries are applying digital twins in their designs, in their projects, this is an example of Decathlon that designs for optimizing the speed for cyclists or for sports. If we think we don't need digital twins in our industry, well, I think we are thinking something not correct. People seek change but don't want to be changed. So we must promote this adoption and this change as professionals. You can hear my podcast in Spanish with more than 3,000 downloads in 1 year in the different platforms. And thank you very much. You can follow us in the social network. And please, if you have any question, I am here to answer.